It's a beautiful night outside tonight. Perfect temperature. No mosquitoes, just a slight breeze. Couldn't pick a better night. We've got a few minutes that we'll wait for people to log in. Make sure that you comment or like the page so we know who's watching. Hey, Bonnie, I love that you're the first one on tonight. It is absolutely gorgeous out here tonight. I just can't even believe how perfect it is. Like the page or comment so I know you're here so we can get you in the drawing. Looks like the Sievertsons are on. Hello, hello. So glad you could join us. Got a few more minutes, so we'll wait for others to hop on yet. I finally found my glasses. They were hidden underneath a bunch of books on my desk. I was so worried I'd lost my Waldo glasses, but I'm in a spot where people are like, I'm afraid I'm going to cause an accident because people are seeing me and they're looking at me like, what is going on? You see them look and then you see them take a double take like, what is that? It's kind of funny. So we'll keep waiting for, I got 4 more minutes I show before we start up. So we'll give it another couple minutes and see who else is going to join us tonight. It's hard. We at work there's so many people on vacation this week that it just seems like a ghost town at the college. It's just crazy feeling. You walk in and there's no one there. Gosh, I took my sunglasses off to put on my Waldo glasses, but it's really bright. But that's a good thing. It's nice and warm. Lots of motorcycles out tonight, which I don't blame them. It's perfect weather to be driving. Anybody figure out where I'm at? Don't post if you know, but it's kind of a different spot. I'll help with the location when I'm done. I'll give you a little hint and a little better look at things. But for now, it was hard to set up the camera to give you an idea of where I was at. So a couple more minutes we'll hang on for. I honestly feel like there's a lot of people that took this week off because even in town it seems like it's not quite as busy as it usually is. When you go down our row of offices in our department, it's like every other office is empty. So they lucked out. So far it's a good week to be gone. Nice weather. Give it a minute or two longer and then we'll get started. Remember, like the post or make a comment and we'll get your name in the drawing at the end of the summer for a gift certificate or a gift card for somewhere. I'm jealous. Sandy, our secretary at the church, is leaving for Paris tomorrow, and my coworker in the office next to me is leaving for Hawaii tomorrow. So fun, and I'm going to the cities with my kids next week, and that's our big vacation. Definitely not Hawaii or Paris, but we'll still have fun, right? So the one that's going to Hawaii went to Texas a few months ago, and she was stuck for 4 days trying to get back. No, she went to Arizona, but she ended up in Texas, and then it took her 4 days past her due date to be back. Took her 4 days to get home to find a flight that would get her back to Fargo. So we've been teasing her that at least if she's going to get stuck, to be stuck in Hawaii at least will be nice. And she said, I got PTSD. I don't know if I even want to go anywhere. So Hawaii will make up for it, though, I think. I can't imagine. I always wanted to go there. Someday, maybe. All right, make sure you like or post a comment in the comment spot so I know you're on. I show 1 more minute. We'll wait 1 more second and then we'll get started. Oh, so gorgeous out. Whoa, somebody walked by to scare me half to death. Jeez. Crazy. That's bizarre. So when you find out where I am, you'll see why it's so bizarre that somebody walked by me. Although, like I said, I'm causing kind of a commotion as to why I'm where I am, and people are looking at me like I'm losing my mind. So, all right, one more minute, half a minute, somewhere in there. Okay, I think we're gonna start. I'm showing that it's just barely 7 o'clock, so I think we'll start. I don't know about you, but 4th of July for me was just a wonderful time. We had a great time with my family. I was so blessed to spend time with my kids and my grandkids and their significant others, and my parents were able to come for grilling, and we had so much fun hanging out together that night, all day. We waited till the rain cleared up about 12:31, and then everybody started coming over later in the afternoon, and I think we finally put the last firework out at 10:30, so everybody was there. It was so much fun, and like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, my boys and their significant others and their kids and I are all going to the cities for 4 days next week, so I'm really excited. We're all staying in one suite like we did last time we went, so that's very fun, but also can be very interesting. You know, if people are tired and crabby, sometimes that close proximity doesn't work so well, but it was a great time last year, so we're hoping it will be as well again this coming time. So as I was looking for a story, I was trying to find one about how I was feeling these last couple days, appreciation for my boys and my amazing grandkids and their significant others, my parents, everybody, and how we had the weather held up to and everything, so it was just a good time. So I found a story that was called Notice, Appreciate, Multiply. It's a reading or a story that was written by a writer named Jude Walsh. So it goes like this. One of my favorite movies is Pollyanna, the story of an orphan sent to live with her crotchety maiden aunt. I loved actress Haley Mills's portrayal of Pollyanna, but what I loved in the movie even more was the glad game. Pollyanna's missionary father taught her to find something to be glad about in every situation. The point was to look at what was wrong or perhaps not optimal and find the silver lining. The glad game starts with a negative and finds a positive. I felt that was how I lived. When dealing with adversity, I often used to say to my husband, "Aren't we lucky?" And we always found a way through. I was, by nature, optimistic. I tried to see the best in any situation to the point that more than one person called me Pollyanna. In my 50s, life took a lot of sudden twists and turns. My marriage ended. My child experienced life-threatening medical issues. I had breast cancer and my mother died, and there was not a great deal to be glad about. Life was challenging. It was almost bleak at the time. And for a long while, it was about getting through the next day. Sometimes it was about getting through the next hour. Once my sons and my health stabilized and the divorce was final, I was faced with choosing how I wanted to live my life. In truth, I had no desire to look at the bad for even one more second. I changed my thinking. Instead of focusing on the difficult things and trying to find something good in them, I focused on noticing the good already present in my life. And I started small. When I woke up, it was the sun shining and cast beautiful shadows on the wall, and I stopped and I appreciated it. If I was thinking I'd like to go out to lunch and a friend called and asked to do just that, I took a moment to appreciate that and be grateful for it. While most of these good things were not connected to wealth or money, I began to feel quite rich, and the feeling was cumulative. The gifts or pleasures placed in my path, the more there seemed to be, I began to share these occurrences. I called them abundances with my friends. And one friend in particular would often start our phone conversations out by saying, "So, tell me, what are your abundances today?" I appreciated my friend's question because it made me aware of how many things I had to be grateful for that day. I began to write them down, to notice and appreciate the quantity, and to have them on hand in case I was having an off day when I felt a bit deprived or lacking. rereading my notations would refresh my spirit. I decided to dedicate a journal to documenting my abundant life. To make it fun, I chose a beautiful, sunny yellow journal and treated myself to a set of good quality markers. I used a 2-page spread, opening the book flat, and sketched a small heart design across the crease. And in the center, I wrote in the name of the month and the word gratitude. Each night of that month, I would sit down with my markers and my thoughts and write down what I remembered from that day. I switched pens for each memory, making for a beautiful, colorful page. And at the end of the month, I had perhaps 40 or 50 notations. Rereading them gave me great joy. The next month, I decided to carry my journal with me, noting the things I had to be grateful for as they occurred. This resulted in a much higher number of notes, perhaps double. The more I wrote, the more there seemed to be. My mindset switched from lack to abundance. I felt rich, blessed, successful, safe, and sheltered. I've been keeping the abundance journal for several years now. Instead of the 2-page spread, each month has expanded to 4 or even 6 pages. I began to write smaller so there are more notations per page. My abundances have multiplied tenfold. My life is perfect and joyful and peaceful. The more I notice and appreciate my abundances, the more I receive. And when I hit those bumps in the road that we all experience, I reach for my journal and I read. And I can be glad all over again. It seems my inner Pollyanna is back. As I said, it was written by Jude Walsh, talking about the abundances that we have in our life. Well, there's obviously a lot of abundance we're given through God just by His love for us. I found a few verses talking about abundance. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8 says, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." Or Deuteronomy 28:12 says, "The Lord will open up the heavens, the storehouse of His bounty, to send rain on your land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. And you will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none." Or Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." And Exodus 34:6 says, "And He passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness." And then I tried to find a few verses that talked about appreciation. Like I said, I so appreciated my 4th of July this year. It was just nice and relaxing and fun, and there's so much to be appreciative for right now. A lot that we need to pray about, but we can be thankful for the things that we do have. And of course, Psalms, the book of Psalms is all about praise and appreciation to God, our thankfulness for Him. So there's a few Psalms I grabbed. Psalm 7, verse 17, "I will give thanks to the Lord because of His righteousness. I will sing the praises of the name of the Lord Most High." Psalm 9:1 says, "I will give thanks to you, Lord, with all my heart, and I will tell of all your wonderful deeds." Or Psalm 95, 1-3, "Come, let us sing for the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before Him with thanksgiving and extol Him with music and song. For the Lord is the great God, the great King above all kings and all gods." And Psalm 100, verse 4-5 says, "Enter His gates with thanksgiving and His courts with praise. Give thanks to Him and praise His name, for the Lord is good and His love endures forever. His faithfulness continues throughout all generations." And the last one I chose was Colossians 2, 6-7. "So then, just as you received Jesus Christ our Lord, continue to live your lives in Him, rooted and built up in Him, strengthened in the faith as you were taught, and overflowing with thankfulness." So think about it. What are you thankful for these days? Are you thankful that you're still able to get around, that you're still able to go out and about, that the COVID has simmered down mostly, and that we're able to kind of get back to a normal life? We're still cautious, of course. What do you have to look forward to in your lives? I'm looking forward to our vacation next week. We're going to try to do different things than we normally do. We're going to try to do it on a budget, not spend a ton of money, but rather go to like Minnehaha Falls and spend time together playing games in the park and renting bikes and riding the bike trail, stuff like that. Do you praise and thank the Lord for the abundance in your life? Do you take the time to acknowledge all that God has given you, the creation that He's given us, and all the amazing things in our lives and the people? And perhaps you too may want to start an abundance journal. I was thinking after I read this article, it'd be fun to keep track during my 4 days of vacation with my kids and my grandkids, what amazing things and what wonderful things we did and how we felt. Be a innate way to be intentional in praising and thanksgiving God for all of the things that you've been given. And also a way for you when you're struggling to be reminded that you are loved and that you're never alone. God is always with you. So, first of all, last week, where was I? I was actually at the Dragon on the MSUM campus. So I was sitting right by the Dragon on campus. So if you had that as your guest, you were right on. This week, I'm at a different location, and I'll show you where I'm at in just a second or give you some hints. But I will tell you, make sure that you are at least liking the post or giving me a comment in the comment area so that I can get you in the drawing. And then if you know where I'm at, you can send those guesses to either pearlyparish@gmail.com. You can send it to my email, mjensen, that's O-N, mjensen001 at luthersem, that's short for Luther Seminary, luthersem.edu, or even text me or give me a call at 701-261-0998. Now, let me give you your hint of where I'm at. I'm about 30, maybe even 40 feet up from the ground. I'm going to switch the camera around.